Hey guys, Glockster42. How is everyone doing on this very end of 2020? Thank God this year is over. Hopefully 2021 will be better than what we had last year. Anyway, let's take a look at the Takom Blitz Mark III. This is the Panzerkampfwagen 3 Mark M with side shields. All in all, not a bad kit. 1/35th scale. And cost. This is going to be a little bit more of a in more depth review that I have done in the past little while. First of all, cost. I paid about $60 Canadian. That works out to about $46 US or 34 pounds sterling, or 38 euros if that's if you swing that way. Now let's start off with the instruction sheet. Okay, we're going to cover some parts of the instruction sheet, then we're going to kick back and forth the model instruction sheet, so you guys can get an idea of what this kit's like to build. First of all, it's a really small instruction sheet. You can see here's my hand, pretty much covers the entire thing. So it is small, but it's printed black and white, gives you a parts breakdown, and as you can see it's kind of a computer rendered photos, which is it's fairly clear, it's fairly concise, but for my old eyes it's small. It's really small for me. You know, younger, better eyes, you probably won't have a single bit of problem here. Now the first thing, all these portions fit together really well, no problem whatsoever. Now when you get into a bit of a rub is when you start putting these road wheels together. Unfortunately, the road wheels, all the little sticky outy things, for lack of a better term, have a lot of flash on them, so you've got to sand them off. The first couple I built, I wasn't expecting that little micro flash, and they didn't fit worth a damn. So you need to make sure you sand off all the flash. When you do that, you're okay. You're doing all right. Now when we get over here to step 6, there's quite a big seam here on the muffler, so you're going to have to fill that seam in. This air intake is a little bit wonky. You've really got to kind of decide what you want to do. And I believe that if they was running, these should be open. If they were not running, as in shut down, these intakes were closed. Here now on number 6, this part, this was a real fiddly SOB to put together. I basically put this plate on and this plate on, and then put these 4 spacers in underneath. A33s don't line up really great with the exhaust, so you have to really be careful when you put those in. Now you can see once you've got the road wheels and all the torsion bars in, it runs nice and flat. It's super level. There's a couple of kits I've built lately, the torsion bars are just horrendous, but this is a nice solid level fit. It works really well. The torsion bars are done up extremely nicely, and as you can see underneath here where we have all these, it does match up, but you do have to do a little bit of fiddly work on here. And you see it's a nice level of detail. Probably if you really want to keep a real accurate, you're going to want to make these interiors in the red oxide primer. Now we get to step 7 and 8, we put the tracks on, which is, I really like the way they've got the breakdown. It makes really good sense. You get up to here, you put your tracks on, and then you start working on your upper hull. Now these tracks are not entirely length to length. We've got a long piece here, we've got a couple of medium pieces here, and another long piece. These all come injected molded together. They give you a little bit of sag on the top. They're really nice, super well detailed, outstanding tracks. The only time you actually use link to link is around the edges, and you follow the instructions. Mine went perfectly. There was no gap. They lined up absolutely perfectly. Now you can see just how nice these tracks went. There was absolutely no issues whatsoever on this side. It went together really, really well. The other side, not Takom Blitz's fault. It was all on me. This kit was virtually done. I was putting the front fenders on, and then I realized, oh no, guess what? This track was on backwards. Yeah, I've built so many Mark IIIs and 4s, and I can't believe I got one side on backwards. So there was a little bit of fixing to be done. As you can see, this gray was the extra links. Thankfully, Takom gives you lots of extras. So I was able to clean this all up and add on the extra links. They come with hollow guide horns, which is really nice, all one molded in one piece. Very little cleanup. The tracks were awesome on this thing. This was a really nicely tracked kit. Now here's where I deviated somewhat from the instruction sheet. What I went and did, you followed through, I went and found all the holes that needed to be drilled out in the upper hull, drilled them all out, and then I skipped about 3 pages and jumped right to step 16, where I glued the upper hull down to the bottom hull. It's a good fit. There's very little seam that needs to be filled in. In fact, there wasn't any with the fast setting glue I used. No seams work whatsoever. So I got the top and the bottom hull put together. Then I rolled back, because there's nothing worse than having all these little fiddly details on your upper hull built, and then the next thing you know, you're trying to attach the upper and bottom hull and you've got problems. So jump ahead to step 16, get your upper hull done. There's a few holes that you have to drill in the back fenders, and then you start putting down detail. I think there's these 4 1mm holes to drill, and then a couple up front to drill. Then you can start putting all your pieces in as you need be. Absolutely no issues whatsoever. Everything fit really, really nicely. The instruction sheets are a little small, like I said before, but they're detailed enough to make the assembly very, very nice, unlike the couple of Dragon kits I built in the last couple weeks. We get to here, we put on the armor hangers. Everything lined up just perfectly. There was a little bit of the skirts are photo etch, a really nice soft brass that works. There's some photo etch kicking around here. There's not a lot of photo etch on this kit, so that's probably one of the reasons I liked it so much. But just a little bit of photo etch makes it just right. So I'm not sure if it's going to come out in camera, but there was that little seam right there that I filled with a little bit of Tamiya putty. The upper hull, the tow cables fit perfectly. They're really nicely detailed. Most of the time I don't like the molded plastic tow ropes, but these are just lovely. They have great detail. They had very little seam to fill, and they worked just great. You can see the fire extinguishers hidden back here, as is the jack and the jack block here. I did add a couple of headlight conduits that they didn't include, didn't even talk about. So I just added those headlight conduits with a little bit of fine copper wire. They worked really good. It just adds a little bit of nicer level of detail. All the Pioneer tools, the cable cutters, the hand crank, all the rest of the tools are extremely nicely done and very well detailed. These skirt holders went together good. They all line up and match up really well, which usually doesn't happen with me. I usually have to fight with them afterwards to get them on, but these all went in really good. A little bit of photo etch back there, cover up a tiny little molding hole there that they leave open for you. That's a little bit of a fiddly part. Leave these off until you've got all your upper hull completed as well. It's just a little bit easier to make sure that all the gaps are cleaned up and all the seams fit nicely. Now that is going to be parts number, let me just find it here. Yeah, they have you put that on way back at the start of the build. So leave those off, those two little photo etch pieces off, until you got the upper and lower hull put together. Now let's take a look at the turret. Turret build is pretty darn straightforward. They give you no clear blocks in this, which is fine. You have to really be careful. They've got you putting E28, E27, and A18 together at once, but I like to put A18, the frame, into the turret. There's a tiny little seam that you have to fill top and bottom. Get those filled, get them added in, then put your doors in after. These smoke dischargers were a little bit tricky. Don't put them on right now. Hold off on putting those on until you start putting your skirts on, because you can run into some alignment issues. The gun, mantle, all go together. It's a one-piece plastic barrel, nicely detailed, hardly any seam whatsoever. Then you've got the other pieces that slide down and seal it up at the back. Nicely done. This is all excellent fit. A lot of this interior stuff I didn't bother with, because honestly you're not going to see it once you get into the kit. If you want to do it, hey, it's up to you. Everybody's different. Now, the only fiddly part I found with this was putting in these on these turret skirts. I thought I'd be all smart and I got the front end done and blah blah blah. You can't do it that way. You got to start on one side and work all the way around, or work at the back and work front. I would suggest you put J on the back. Make sure that this turret basket is on nice and square and straight. Get J on and then work your way up. Work back to front. Get your F1 and your F3 in, then put your other plate in, and then get F5 and get your F7 plate in, and then work your way back to front. It just seems to line up the other way. I tried to go one way and work my way around. Did not line up worth a damn. Front to back, either side, you should be golden that way. Then they have you putting in the turret and a couple of small little pieces of photo etch there. So as you can see, the turret skirt works fairly well. It is a little fiddly. You do have to do some work on it. It's not a complete shake the box and throw some glue in and away you go. You do have to do some fitting. You do have to do some work on it. I started off with a slow Tamiya setting glue, the orange cap, and then I scooted over to the fast setting to finish it up. Now, the big thing is here is that on these smoke dischargers, I had glued mine in as they said, and I'm pretty sure the bottom smoke grenades would actually clip the side of the skirt. So that's why I said leave these out until you've got the skirts on. That way you can make sure that it's going to be lined up. So you can see there probably might be a little contact if you shot a smoke grenade out there. It might hit, but you know what? I don't know. You know, that's just supposition on my part. All in all, this is a really nice little build. Let's take a look at the painting instructions. Now it gives color markings and decal options, or decal options for my American friends, for four different tanks. I believe the first one is in Kursk, the second one is in Kursk, the third one is Kursk, and the fourth one is Kursk. So if you want to do Kursk, all your options are set. This one is for the 11th Panzer Division. This one is the 6th Panzer Division. This one is the Totenkopf SS Panzer Division. And this is the 2nd Panzer Division as well. So let's take a look at some decals. Okay guys, there's the decals for the four options. They look like they're in-house, made by Takom Blitz. For a while, I think they were doing the cartographs from Italy, which are really nice decals. So I don't know what these are going to be like. I found some Takom Meng decals hit and miss. Some of them are excellent, some of them are not so good. They are nice and sharp. They are fairly clear and crisp. So until we actually get them into some warm water, who knows what they're going to be like. I do see that some of the carrier film behind it is a little bit milky in the light, so we're going to have to see what the decals are like once we get them on. Okay guys, there you have it. The Takom Blitz Panzerkampfwagen 3M. Last production of this version. Highly recommended. I would pick this up. Wouldn't even worry about trying to find it on sale, because regular price is pretty darn good. Now, as you can see, there is one section there that I have left off, and that's right here is the antenna. I don't like putting antennas on until the kit's just about ready for paint, because I've broken a few off in the past 45 years of building models, so I generally leave that off. But there is definitely an antenna piece that goes on there. You can either have it folded down to this channel or standing straight up. Other than that, great kit, highly recommended. Give it an 8.5 out of 10, maybe even a 9 out of 10, just because the instructions were kind of small, and there were a few little fiddly pieces that didn't fit so well. But all in all, highly recommended. Yes, I would rebuild this kit. You know, like I said, I would definitely build this kit again. There was a few little, it was a challenging but really fun build. It wasn't as annoying. And I can't remember getting PO'd at this kit once, except at myself when I messed up on those tracks. So there you go, guys. I hope everyone has an awesome New Year's 2020. And let's get this goddamn year out of the way and get to 2021, although I don't see it being much better right off the bat. So for my friends in the States, I hope you guys get all that BS sorted out and you do the right thing. And for everybody in Europe, I certainly hope the lockdowns aren't affecting you too badly, especially my friends in the UK. It sounds like you guys are getting hammered over there, so I hope things get sorted out for you there. Alright guys, I really appreciate you watching. If you like what you see, give me a thumbs up, make a comment. Hey, even consider subscribing and turning on those notifications. I'm really trying to trying to do at least one review, one video a week. All right, guys, take care. Later. Thanks.